Welcome to the Dreadful Dialogue, a podcast where we chat about all things horror. Today we're going to be doing a movie deep dive. I'm going to be talking about the movie Death Becomes Her from 1992. I do have a returning guest. If you can listen to our episode about Mr. Harrigan's Phone, where we chatted about both the book and the movie, you'll recognize his voice. So my guest today is one of my best friends, my sister from another mister. Her name is Celeste, but you won't hear me call her that. You won't hear her call me Alyse either. We used to be roommates in college, so we go by Roomie. I want to welcome my Roomie back to the podcast. How you doing?
Great, man. Thanks. It's great being here, especially talking about this movie. And I am a little scared when it comes to horror, so this was kind of perfect for me. Great movie, great slapstick. I love your vision on this, and I saw what you saw in it, and it just had us both all over it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's full of like witty dialogue. It's got like that nostalgic factor. It's like it's super campy. You would think it's like a B movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of has B movie vibes, but it's got like these three phenomenal actors in it, right?
Yeah, it's very campy. It's like Friday the 13th and a little bit of, just zombie Barbie meets Jason. It's great. I love it. And the irony, just even in the title, is just great.
Yeah, so you mentioned the title, Death Becomes Her. Like, I don't even think I understood that when I was like a kid. And like, not until like I'm older. That's like an old saying. I don't think I even hear people use that type of saying
Yeah.
anymore.
I kind of remember like you need to become your clothing or your fashion. And my grandma, especially, she's the 50s mantra, those beautiful black and white pictures that you see your grandma and grandpa in.
Yeah.
And like, dang, you came a long way. And not in a good way, you know what I mean? But I always say now, when I look back now, just when I watch it, I'm like, that is a killer pun, and it's totally pun intended. And it's a fancy way to say she looks good, even when they're actually dead. Like these two kind of zombie Barbie doll mannequins, and constantly in battle together. I mean, this is who they are, right? They're battling against each other, and all this is part of who they become when they drink the magic potion. And it's like this fashion meets fatality type of idea, and it's just really great. And the dramatism of, and the facial expressions, and the way the director kind of hones in, it's a little slapstick, and it's really good. I mean, and even the movements of this, like, and again, every embodiment of what they're doing reflects the title. The neck snaps. I know we're going to talk a lot about the hole in the torso, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The iconic cover of it. Yeah. The whole movie poster.
And it's normal to them right away. You know what I mean?
Like, even the way she like sits down on it, right? Like,
I love it. She's like,
Meryl Streep sits there.
I love it. She moves the scarf, and it's just so good.
Yeah. Well, let's take it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, definitely.
Let's kind of take it to the beginning before we get too much into it. So again, if you haven't seen this movie, you guys need to check it out. The movie's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and the music is Alan Silvestri. And I don't usually like shout out the directors and music people that often, as I probably should, because it's part of what makes movies great. But they just nailed it. And our main actresses are Meryl Streep plays Madeline Ashton, Goldie Hawn plays Helen Sharp, and Ernest Menville plays Bruce Willis. And there's some other kind of actors, but they're the main ones. If we come across some other ones, I might throw their names out there. But I love, like, right from the beginning, this movie, and you mentioned it, right? It's got like this old Hollywood vibe. And we get the character of Madeline Ashton, again played by Meryl Streep, and you'll hear her sometimes called Mad, which I think is funny, right? Mad and Helen, like, because they're mad as hell.
Oh yeah, I know. They literally kill each other over and over again.
Over and over, yeah. But we get to see her range immediately. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie She-Devil, which came out like the year before, and she plays the same sort of character. I mean, I loved her in Devil Wears Prada. I swear there's just like different versions of Madeline.
She's great.
Yeah.
And I immediately felt real comfortable at the beginning. It had like even just the titles and the words. It reminded me, a little Beetlejuice, a little Tim Burton-ish. And I know you have too. I know you're a big fan, and I love it. It just automatically reminded me of that vibe, and kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, how it opens up, with that can dancing, and I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought she did amazing. And again, the Witches of Eastwick analogy always reminds me of when Jack Nicholson's snoring in the back, and in this movie, everybody's snoring, and of course, Ernest immediately falls in love with Meryl Streep. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that's what happens, right? We see Meryl Streep's character and going sings, dance, acts. But what's funny, she's supposed to be like a quote unquote bad actress, but it's like Meryl Streep is so good at playing a bad actress. And that's when we see Ernest. You just mentioned Bruce Willis, and he has like this horrible hair piece and the
oh, it's
mustache.
so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
And Goldie Hawn's wig, but they all still look hot, like in this
Yeah,
weird way, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I
And
thought this
so
was a great character for Bruce Willis. It was stepped a little. I mean, he went from moonlighting. He's like this debonair stud to this kind of washed out
doctor.
undertaker. After he's a plastic surgeon and he's shopping at Michael's fabric store for his two ladies.
Yeah, yeah, he just like you said, yeah. So he's just like former doctor, but they look great despite Hollywood trying to make them look bad. They all look great. They look all like 80s out. Oh no, wait, it's 1978, so
90s.
I guess it's kind of 80s, right? You can't with
Yeah,
fashion. It kind
yeah.
of it kind of bleeds into each other, but we get to see when right before the end of her show, right? Because she's at her Broadway show, Madeline. That's when Helen comes in again. That is Goldie Hawn, and her fiance is Ernest, Bruce Willis, and we already get to see how vain she is. Even before they come in, her assistant, and I gotta shout out to this assistant Rose because she puts up with her
Oh yeah,
like,
from beginning to end. Right? Tell me what you need to tell me in the morning. You look
tell me
wonderful,
I'm
darling.
beautiful. Yeah, she's like, I need to hear it every day. You said only Thursdays. I think I need to hear it every day. Yeah,
And you're
she's
like,
she's totally vain.
yeah, and it's like you're not even looking at her. You don't even care. All she does is she wants to hear it. Like her
Yeah, yeah.
reflection is her lovey language.
Yeah, so they go backstage and we find out like we figure out how much of frenemies these two are, right? They're doing the whole I haven't seen you in so long and they're so worried because Helen's been worried because she sees that they're being flirtate that her husband is like taken aback by her. He's
Right.
they're flirting with each other, him and Madeline, and so after she even tells him like, "Oh no, I don't know, like I gotta be careful. She's taken men from me before, and you don't like her, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No,
Not at all.
no."
Not at all. Like the whole
Yeah.
time he's like, I'm gonna like totally infatuated with her. The only one in the entire audience, you know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yeah. Good point. He's like clapping at the end, and everybody's like, "This show's terrible." They're like, "She's supposed to be like a washed-up actress, you know?"
And I'm sorry, but the whole time it's like I had to agree with Ernest. He's
Yeah.
fabulous. And I'm like, you
I'm
know,
gonna holler at her too.
Helen, what are you talking about? But it's the, of course, nobody likes her, but it's really the envy that Helen is feeling right away.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's just like I mean, they were. I don't think they were college roommates, but they went. It sounds like they went to college together, and I mean, thank
yeah,
goodness we're not that way. I mean, you as women,
right,
right? We weed through a lot of friends before you figure out like that you're not. I think you even told me something in our pre-chat like about not competing with. It's like it's not about competing with each other, right? It's
right,
about like
right. Well, I mean,
complimenting each other.
absolutely holding each other up. Women empowerment. It's like that's what was so great about this movie. I mean, it's completely opposite of how I am in reality, but as far as my reality, but it's a lot of people's reality, especially Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive, which is kind of obviously like where they live and kind of where everything is
Yeah.
facilitated at, especially with Lissel, right?
Oh yeah, when we get into Lisa,
Yeah.
oh, she's another hot
Yeah.
one. Isabella
Oh,
Rossellini.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so she tells Ernest like she's worried about him, and then so Madeline trying to pull a fast one. She just shows up at Ernest's work, and she's got like champagne, and they go out to lunch, and then the movie just abruptly like it cuts to a scene of them getting married. It's like
Yeah.
what the heck? He totally left Helen for this girl Madeline,
Oh yeah.
and we figure out pretty quickly though that Madeline, I don't know if she really loved Ernest at all. I mean, she played the long game, right? Like
Oh
she
yeah.
married this dude just to get back at Helen because that was
Oh
her
yeah.
frenemy, the
Oh
lady she
yeah.
didn't like.
And she didn't care about him. It was, I think at the beginning it was for more of a social status, and then I think it kind of, for her, blossomed into I am higher and mighty than him, and he's just like kind of my subject, and he's part of my hostage situation I have to make her feel better.
Exactly, yeah.
It's
Because
very competitive.
I think they even infer that because he was a plastic surgeon, like later when he gives her the little push. He talks
Yeah.
about how he did work on her. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's a benefit. Who wouldn't want to marry a plastic surgeon? I mean, I'd
I
marry
mean,
Bruce
hey.
Willis anyway, but
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime.
yeah. Yeah. So then after that, we get the movie jumps 7 years and we get to see Goldie Hawn in a fat suit.
I love it. I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good. I was rolling, and I mean, just the finger sticking in the icing, the cat lady. It was so great. Just watching Meryl Streep die over and over up until the very last minute of pulling her out. You really see you get the hint, like, okay, she does not like, it's almost like an obsession. It is an obsession, right? It's just like gets her to the core, which follows her throughout the mental institution, which was funny because enter 227 actress, which is, she's great. She's in a lot of movies and
Sesame Street.
yeah. Huge in Sesame
Yeah.
Street, by the way. Yeah. Super funny. And she's like, get your shit together, you know?
Yeah. Because she's her Elena Reed Hall. I had to look up her name. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she's a psychiatrist. Yeah. That scene though when they arrest her, like when we get to see her in that fat suit, she's like you said, the total cat lady stereotype. There's cats all over. And yes, a dreadful dialogue. Obviously, we are cat friendly. I have 3 cats, okay? But I'm not gonna have 100 like her. And yeah, the way she's eating the frosting, and
Oh,
and so if you haven't seen the movie, okay, like I'm sure you figured this out. We're not going scene by scene. We're kind of going through the movie from beginning to end, so we're totally spoiling it. But this is one of the funniest scenes. Okay, so Helen is rewatching footage of one of Madeline's old movies, and in the movie that she's watching, her character dies, and she just keeps rewinding it and playing it, rewinding it and playing. And as the police are evicting her and arresting her, and this is a dramatic eviction, by the way, the way they're pulling her out,
I
she's
mean,
like
there's
trying to
like
like
6 cops
lean and hold on to the doorway and keep. She's trying to rewind and keep watching because like that's how much hate she has for Madeline through the
zooming
years,
into
and then
the
for Madeline still and her man Ernest.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Zooming
when she
into
goes.
death scene and zooming into the actual death scene over and over again. I think she
Yeah,
probably, I mean, it's a good 10, 12 times. And then she sees it one last time. And then
yeah.
they pull her away from the doorway.
Got to get one more in. I just need one more fix of her death.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
man.
I love how, like how you said. And then she goes to the mental institute, and like everybody's so sick of her because they're like, "Okay, Helen." She's like the last one that they get to talk to in the group. What do you want to talk about today? And she goes, "Madeline Ashton," and everybody's like, "Ah!" Because they're so sick of like this lady's obsession.
And it's so funny. I mean, I know this is not the point at all, but there's like 6 other women in the room, and each of them have something different that's drastic. One has a nervous twitch, one's rocking. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for sure.
Yeah. It's it's
And
it's
she's
it's
still
it's
in her
hilarious.
fat suit, and the psychiatrist like, lose some weight.
I know. I was like, man, what kind of is this like a combo like weight loss institute and like a psychiatrist? Because the way she said it, I was like, that was kind of harsh. And you haven't lost any weight. I'm like, well, dang, you could have said that nicer. But
I mean,
then you kind of realize that's how you have to talk to Helen because like
yeah, they could have. I
she,
mean, nowadays they would have plugged in Ozempic right then and there, right?
yeah. Oh man, I need that Ozempic. I need the
instead,
Ozempic face.
instead of the love potion or the pink potion, they would have plugged that Ozempic right there.
Yeah. Oh man. So then okay, so what's happened next in the movie? We go back
Fast
to
forward,
yeah, we
fast
go
forward
yeah,
another
we go back
7 years, right?
No, I don't think it fast forward. I think at this point we just get to see what's going on. So we see that Helen's gone. She's at this mental
It's,
institute, and we get to see that Madeline and Ernest are married, right? But it's not like happily ever after. They're
yeah,
sleeping in separate rooms. And this is when we find out, like we mentioned earlier, Ernest is fallen from grace. He's not a plastic surgeon anymore.
yeah,
He's now an undertaker. And he even wakes up and Rose is still there, the assistant. And I guess she's also the housekeeper because now she's in like a like the
yeah,
stereotypical maid uniform,
yeah,
bringing him his Bloody Mary. And he's like passed out on the lab
yeah.
floor. And yeah.
And they start talking about how he's usually crashed out there. So yeah, absolutely. So he's
Yeah.
this drunk, he's washed out, he's kind of lost himself in the marriage. She kind of basically sucked the soul out of him, which I think is another piece of irony to the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they totally, and this is where she totally gives him like those witty lines, because he says, "Oh, I gotta go to work," because he's up early, and she's like, "What's the special occasion?" And he's all,
Yeah.
"Well, work," and she's all, "You ghoul." She calls him a ghoul because he
Yeah.
goes and works for a mortuary.
Yeah.
He does the makeup on the people,
Hmm.
which is gonna come into play, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And then I love when he goes to the funeral home and the guy that he has to take care of. He died with like a big smile on his face, and he
Yeah.
said
Oh, yeah.
because he was banging a hot chick in the hot tub.
Yeah.
This scene was not like necessary for the movie at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It
But
doesn't move the
that
story
face
along, but
was good. Yeah.
it's just
Absolutely.
hilarious though, right? It's
Yeah.
pure funny. It's again, it's that total camp, like it's
Yeah.
it's like B movie status, but it's not really a B movie. But that scene is great.
Yeah, and I was wondering that too. I'm like, this would be a B movie for sure. But I think the quality of actors and actresses in it just kind of leveled it up to like A minus.
Yeah, like those I guess Siskel and Ebert gave it like 2 thumbs down or something. I'm like, whatever. This
Mm,
movie's great.
yeah, they don't see what we see.
Yeah. So Madeline is upset about how she's looking and she goes to a spa. What did you think about this like beauty health spa and how she's just chasing her youth?
Oh yeah, right away I was like, this is so Beverly Hills and so for the time. And I used to live in LA, and it's exactly how it was. And like, oh, and she was like, give me this right now. I have to go somewhere. Right, she's going to the
Uh
book announcement for
the book
Helen,
party,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
book party, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look good for this fat slob because she knows that she's overweight at this point, right?
Yeah.
And she's really trying to get in, and this is where she meets that is this Mr. Chagall that she meets? What is this?
Chagall. I don't know if it's
Chagall.
Chagall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And the eye twitch is a foreshadowing of some shadiness going on, right? Like man,
Hmm.
there's something going on that he's hooking her up with. She's like, huh, okay, whatever. Like I'm just trying to get my stuff and I'm out of
Yeah.
here, And so she
And,
throws
and
the number of Medgley Lissel's number in there, right?
yeah, because he gives her Liesel's number and he's like, hey, if money is really no object, like I got
Yeah,
this hookup, I got this spot basically that you can go to and they'll take care of you. And she's just like, oh, he's a weirdo. And like you said, she rips it up, throws it away. But
yeah,
like you figure it out like pretty quick. Like what's funny is like, again, it doesn't really like relate to the story, but you mentioned like how LA is like that, like how easy people buy into this treatments and products, and the girl who's initially helping her is like using a heavy French accent, and then when she
yeah,
gets startled by the supervisor guy, Mr. Chagall, she's like, oh, and then she all of a sudden she doesn't have a French accent anymore, right? She's got like
yeah.
this perfectly American like accent. It's like, yeah, you're just trying to sell some fake stuff, and I guess that also probably added to
You know,
Madeline not taking him serious.
yeah, and I get it in my Silver Fox stage right now. I got a couple of them going
Yeah.
on. Like I get a little tune up here and there, and you look at this and you're like, man, this is a nice place. And she's already, and you already understand how obsessed she is at this point, and how
Yeah.
just self obsessed she is, and she doesn't care about her husband. And she's like, you already know she's going to a really ritzy spot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then we get to the party, and or this is when we find out more about Ernest, right? The lady, this is when he starts going into detail about what he does. The lady's like, "Oh, you worked
Oh
on
yeah,
one of my family members."
this is one
She's
of
like,
my
"What's your
favorite parts.
secret?"
Yeah,
And
love
he's
that
all
spray
spray
paint.
paint.
Yeah, so he is painting corpses with spray paint that he gets at the hardware store, right? So you immediately start thinking, well, what else is he finding? When you start thinking, already my mind went straight to like arts and crafts because I kind of forgot about that part, and then everything else kind of. Like, is he shopping around at Michael's? And again, that portrays a lot in the rest of the movie. But I forgot about that part, and I started laughing so hard. And she
Yeah,
gets
there's
all
so much
mad.
dialogue. Yeah, just like you
And
gotta watch this movie like 3 or 4 times
yeah,
to catch all like when she calls him
yeah,
the ghoul, when he's talking
mhm,
about the products that he uses.
yeah,
It's wild. I mean, even on the way to the party, like well, they're in the limo. She's like Madeline's like, can you just not breathe? And he literally, you can like if you pay attention, he actually tries to not breathe because she's
yep.
so annoyed by him. It's like who talks that way to people? Like to your husband.
And why are you still proud? I mean, how can you've seen him as a plastic surgeon and now you see him as an undertaker? I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like she's just trying to have control. Like it's on me. She can belittle him at this point. Like she totally doesn't care about him.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
so we're at the party. We know he's spray painting corpses down in the basement somewhere. He's washed up. He's drunk. He's drinking at this party already. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah, he's at the bar. Yeah, that's true.
and I love his look. He's like, why would she care if I mean, you can already tell they're dead. What they look, you just told me they look good. And I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, why would you care?
Yeah. I've always personally thought, like, I don't want to be embalmed or any of that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of morbid. Like, I understand that practice started, I want to say, like, Civil War era, because it was bodies are being transported across states and across the country, and it was a lot longer. It wasn't like now where you could put them on a plane. They had to go by train, and that was a way to preserve them. But like me personally, I mean, to each your own, I don't want to be that gives me the creeps. I don't know.
It does.
I don't
It's
want to
all
be decorated.
creepy.
I just want to, like, I don't know. I don't know
It's
if, I'm
so
not sure if I want to be
creepy.
cremated yet. I'm like, can I be made into, I want to be a tree or a diamond or something pretty.
And I don't know how they do it in California still, but out here, they don't. I live in the South. They don't do viewings at all anymore, and which is kind of, I thought it was a little bit weird to me because I thought that was kind of a religious thing, and where I live now is obviously 10 times more religious in California, and it's very interesting. Not that I've been to 1,000 funerals or anything, but no viewing at all, not even with the family. We just kind of meet, and now it's kind of like everything is like a celebration of life. But anyways, yeah, we don't really do that out here at all. It's super weird. I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
We moved out here like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So is it like a law? Is it an environmental thing?
Yeah, I think it's just
not, or it's just not big common practice.
It's not a common practice. It's not like part of the culture out here or anything. I'm sure it had been, but not anymore. Yeah. And I don't know, because I grew up like Catholic, Mexican religion type of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, and I know that's part of the viewings are the thing. So, I mean, so I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
But
I know there's so many new burials. There's like green burial now. There's aquamation or something. I don't know. I'm looking, and every state, like, there's some where you can do, they call sky burials, where they'll set you on fire and out in the open and let your corpse chill out so the animals can get you. Yeah, I want to be worm food.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So that's been our little death practices corner for you guys. It's not really about the
throw
movie,
me in the ground, leave me. I don't need a casket. I really don't. Why?
Yeah, I don't want none of that personally. Yeah, none of that.
I mean, they're gonna get in.
Yeah, exactly. Let them in. Let them in. Yeah.
It reminds me of Guillermo del Toro, the rats. That's good. Cabinet of Curiosity. Sorry.
Maybe Cabinet of Curiosity. We did an episode on that. We did the autopsy, but that one's a good one too. The rats. Oh, that one gives me the like.
Oh my gosh!
Scratch because of the rats.
And it's like a reality check too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like those. There's some good episodes in that one.
Yeah.
Shout out to episode 2 or 3, the autopsy. Ooh, it doesn't sound good though, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of those. It's a rite of passage with podcasters and YouTubers and stuff. Like our first 2 episodes are always like, they're kind of cringe, but me and Paul covered it, but we didn't do that one. We just did 1 episode. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to Debbie Comes There. Now that we had our little death corner there, our little death practices. So this is where we get to see Helen, right? Because we already know what happened during the 7 years. We know Madeline and Ernest have been like living this not happily ever after, and they think they see Helen, right? Because there's a lady of a bigger stature from behind, but then the lady she moves out of the way, and we get to see Helen. And
Goldie Hawn at her best. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, smoke
the
show.
Eyes, love her. Kurt Russell, you go, boy.
Yeah.
Ooh, Kurt Russell's working. I know. I don't even care if it's Christmas Chronicles or not, but I mean, we're talking overboard, eat your heart out, just banging. And then the look on Ernest's face, and throughout the movie, the director's cuts of the facial expressions is just so cinematic. And again, that gives you this slapstick Scooby-Doo vibe, which we can kind of get into later. Boom, bang, pow, but in facial expression from like Batman.
Yeah. You get Madeline like kind of shocked to see her looking so good. Helen's kind of happy, like, that's right, bitch. I look better now. And we'll find out later why she looks so good.
Yeah, they do the frenemy.
Yeah, they do the frenemy.
How you doing? I love you. And I still didn't really. I knew she was psycho. Don't get me wrong. And I know we'll get into that in a second, but I still didn't realize she had plans, right?
Yeah, and you kind of like, and I might be jumping a little bit, like you forget that she's psycho because you kind of feel
Mhm.
bad for her because of the way Madeline treated her, and then later you find out a little bit more about how she treated Madeline. So then you start to just be like, they're both bad chicks. Like neither of them
Yeah,
are really
that's
like
yeah,
the
and I know we'll
nicest
get into this
ladies.
later. Yeah, we'll be like, you know what? They belong together. Till death do us part.
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so they do the frenemy and they're hugging Hell and Mad. That I crack up how they call each other Hell and Mad instead of Helen and
Mhm.
Madeline. And eventually Helen gets Ernest away, and they talk about how what could have been, and
She
he
plays
even
it off good.
apologizes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd be
and she
apologizing too if I was him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're both hot, but I'm gonna lie, Goldie kind of got her in this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
find out later why she looks a little better,
Mhm.
why she looks so much better.
Ab
And she even tells him, like, "Oh, I forgive you, but she's a woman, and I'll never forgive her." Like, and this is we find out she's playing both sides, right?
Yeah, yeah,
She
she
claims
tells
that she
him
doesn't.
yeah, she tells the other one that it's the other one's fault, and she's like, "They told me."
Yeah. So after the party, they go home, and again, it just shows how happy of a marriage they have, right? He
Mhm.
goes up to his room, Ernest goes up to his, and by the way, this mansion that they live in is really nice. It's this fancy 2-story with long sweeping steps, like beautiful home, right?
Yeah,
Big mansion
yeah.
in like I think LA or Beverly Hills, somewhere of
Definitely
that nature.
remember the sweeping staircase for sure.
Yeah, you won't forget the sweeping staircase, yeah. And
The
so
sh
she takes
the
off.
chandeliers, the
Yeah, yeah,
pool.
yeah. The pool, yeah, the little water
Like,
feature outside, all of
the
it.
courtyard. Mhm.
Yeah, the courtyard. There you go. But she takes off to her Sancho's house. Her side, she has a side
Yeah.
piece, a young boy named
Mhm.
Dakota.
Who was
I
quite
don't know who.
handsome, and
Yeah,
he
I don't know
comes
who
out in
played
jeans.
him.
I don't know either. I don't know.
I think I put it in my notes somewhere, but
Oh, Adam
yeah, he's
Adam.
like an 80,
I'm not
80s guy.
he is, Adam Stork or something like
Yeah, Adam
that.
Stork. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the tricks on her, right? She thinks she kisses on him and hugs on him and thinks he's gonna let her in the house because she's upset after seeing how hot Helen is and she doesn't feel so hot. So she's like, I gotta go see my young paramour. And he's like, whoa, 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 like you can't come in. And she's like, do you have somebody here? And he's like, she's like, can you lie quickly?
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, like quickly, okay? And he's like, look, babe, look, you gotta believe me, like this is perfectly innocent. And it's funny because like this is when you realize like why is he justifying cheating, quote unquote, on her, but she's married and like cheating on her husband with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like she's constantly wanting to feel powerful with the way she looks, and come to find out, she looks into the window and sees this young. I mean, it just shows straight up young ass, right? And you're like,
Yeah,
dang.
yeah.
I was kind of mad at the butt. I'm like, I do 3,000 stairmasters every single day, and look at that ass. And he looks at her like, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, right? And
Yeah.
she gets really upset. And what does he tell her, right? He straight says, find somebody your age. He gets angry. Like, you're cheating. Just exactly what you're saying. You're cheating on your husband. You're going to get mad at me. Go find
Yeah.
somebody your own age. And again, with the close up, she's just so angry. She's upset. This is when she starts driving, right? And
Yeah.
it's raining.
Those words like hit her hard. Find somebody
Mhm.
your own age. We look
Yeah.
ridiculous together.
Yeah, and she's driving in the storm, which I thought was hilarious because it didn't start raining in California until we moved. So, anyways, the torrential downpour, right? And now her old lady starts showing, right? You know, the hair
Yeah,
is
it's a good
plastered in
point.
her
Yeah.
face. She looks in the mirror. She's freaking out. She practically gets into an accident,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's when she finds the phone number, right?
Yeah, the card that Mr. Tregal gave her with
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
where he said, "Hey, come call this number and we got something to help you."
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, I need some help. So she's desperate, right? She doesn't even know what this is, and she's desperate. Like, I'm calling. So I think that's when she meets Lissel, right?
Yeah, yeah. And in the meantime, between that though, we get like Helen spritzing herself and getting
Yeah.
herself ready to go. She's gonna go do something. And this is when we see her crazy come out again, right?
Uh-huh.
We see Helen, she has like one of those vanities and she has all these like pictures and it's like straight like old
Yeah.
school copycat. from the movie Copycat, or like from those killer movies like The Bodyguard, where they're cutting out like letters out of
Oh
magazines. And
yeah.
she slapped her own face on like a picture, like the wedding photo of Ernest. And
And it's all creepy, like the big lips and the
yeah,
clown picture. She straight made her own pictures. That was a
yeah, that
do it
scared me
yourself.
as a kid.
It was pretty psycho. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like as a kid I didn't understand, like you don't understand like obsession and stalkers, like you're starting to get things, and like I remember like the imagery was disturbing to me,
yeah,
like as a child, and
yeah.
so
It was
that could
like
be disturbing.
like Ace Ventura. Wasn't he psycho over oh the football
Oh,
player Dan
yeah,
Marino?
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And she was out. She goes to
Einhorn
the
is Finkel. Finkel's
yes,
Einhorn.
line for it.
I love that
I
movie.
know. Oh, and the crying game analogy anyway. Oh, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, then she shows up, right?
Yeah,
So
so then,
we've
well
got
Madeline, so
Helen.
yeah, so
Yeah,
Madeline goes to Liesel's.
yeah. And then Helen shows up at Ernest's place, right?
Yeah, so at the same time, this is all kind of going on at the same time. Helen is showing up at his place, and she's in like she's in her sexy outfit, and she
Looking
shows up.
banging.
Yeah, she's like, I need to speak to Madeline. He's like, she's not here, and then she drops her act. So who knows what she was gonna do with her act? She's constantly like changing her game.
Oh, and
But
she even practiced her opening line when she opened the door. She was like, I need to talk to Madeline. No, that's not
yeah,
it. I need to talk to Madeline. I'm not
just
an
like
actor, please. No.
yeah, and it's funny because it takes you back to the beginning of the movie, right? When they're first going to see each other at the Broadway show, before Madeline allows Helen to come in. She's like pushing her little dress down, making it fall
Yeah,
off and she's making it fall off her shoulders, and she's practicing her look, and she's like,
yeah.
oh,
She's
oh, and
got
then
her
she's like, okay,
boobies
open the
out.
door. Yeah, yeah. She's like, okay, Rose, go ahead and let him in. It's like they just put on like this big act for each other. Like they're both like super transactional with their friendship. Madeline's super transactional with like all of her relationships, right? With the Sancho, with her housekeeper, with Helen, with everybody, with her husband. I mean, it's crazy.
They
I'm going off on a
each,
tangent.
but each other, it's normal to them. This is truly who they are, right? It through the whole, like, how can you be so superficial and act normal? And this is a theme throughout the whole entire movie, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
It's part
yeah,
of the satire, where they're making fun of people that are super vain, right?
exactly.
Or
Yeah.
they're displaying. I don't want to say make fun, but so she
No,
shows up and she seduces Ernest, right? Helen seduces Ernest.
basically, yeah. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't think they actually fool around. I don't know if they
Yeah,
actually do, but they definitely
yeah,
fool around. But
yeah.
I want to go into details about what happens with at Liesel's house.
Oh my
This is where
gosh.
we meet.
Can we just talk about the beautiful satin half naked goddess right away? And you're going, what is happening? And then the Fabio, well, I don't think Fabio is quite there yet, but all I could think of was Chippendales. Like, I know for a fact
Yeah,
those guys were in Vegas in the 80s I mean, all of them were famous back then. They definitely 100%. I noticed them both or kind of recognize them both. And she's very seductive. Her shirt, she's banging. I love her character. It's mysterious. And you're kind of like, what's going on with her? And she says, I'm 71.
yeah, yeah,
And you're like,
and she's
well,
like, no, like you don't believe her. But I like before she sits down, the Madeline like has her vain moment when she walks in, and there's like a whole couch, and one of the Fabio dudes is
oh
sitting there,
yeah.
and she goes and sits like right next to the guy,
Yeah.
like, dude, there's a whole freaking couch, and she sits right next to them, and Lisa walks in, and she's like, make some room for my friend, and
I
it's
know.
like, this bitch is the one who sat next to him.
I know.
And she tells him to like, she's like, get out of here, basically. And then she turns on all sexy. And this is Isabel Rossellini, if we haven't mentioned it, playing this sexy Liesel. And we're gonna find out like what Liesel's offering Madeline. But as she tells the guy, hey, make some room for my friend, and then she tells him to leave, she's like, but keep your ass handy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, role reversal here with the sexual harassment.
I know. Oh, and they're so random when they show up too. I mean, these guys kind of come and go in the scenes, and
Even the
you
dogs
know,
are like the Dobermans, right? I think right. They're
yeah,
even
yeah, they got two
little bodyguards.
like,
They're going in and out of the elevators on their
yeah.
own, standing at attention.
And she's got this beautiful castle. I mean, there's pool, and it's never really super bright, right? You've got candlelight everywhere. She's got this really good candlelight entrance, and this like it's a blatant subtlety of these guys coming in and out and being around her, and it's super
Yeah.
funny. So
Yeah, I
she's got
mean,
this whole genre of like a Greek goddess, right?
yeah, I've heard theories that like they were gonna make her like that they wanted to make her older, and like maybe she was Cleopatra, or yeah, maybe she was a
Yeah.
Greek goddess at some time. But then they only say she's 71, so I don't know. Like, I don't know why they didn't. It would have.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cooler if they made her older,
Yeah.
right?
You know what? That's really funny you say that because at the beginning, Hell or Mad says you're 37 or something. I don't know the exact age, and she looked and Lisa scoffs at her. Oh, I'm sorry, you're 25. And when she says no, I'm 71, I thought the exact same thing. I thought she was going to say 3,000. I really was like, she's got to be like some kind of Greek god, Egyptian even.
Yeah,
I really felt the Greek at the end of the movie anyway. As I in hindsight, I was like, it was more of a Greek thing because of
yeah.
how vain they were. They were always trying to figure out the Holy Grail, the fountain of youth in Greek mythology. And I know we can talk about that later, but
No, I think you're onto something, Mom.
yeah,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that kind of caught that. But
yeah,
yeah, so she pulls out this potion for her, right? And what did you
oh
think
yeah.
about when you first saw that potion? Like when as a kid, I was like, "Ooh, that's cool looking. What is
Oh,
that?"
super cool. Super cool. And then you see the little puff of like pink and it opens up and
Yeah.
so she pulls it out. And I like when she sits it down, it comes to a point at the end, like the potion bottle, and it stands up by itself, like a top that stands up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very mysterious. It's very, oh, what is in that? And it's very cool looking. Now, we just have to mention that this is definitely ahead of its time in special effects. I mean,
Yes.
that was super cool. Honestly, I think if George Lucas maybe could have added a little bit of that to Star Wars, I mean, it was pretty good for its time. I think its time
Yeah.
was just in the theme and the plot, but in special effects, definitely they did a really good job.
Yeah, and I think it won the Academy Award for I don't know if it was special effects specifically, but it
Yeah.
won something of that nature. And it is a
Wow.
mix of practical effects and special effects, like the parts with the neck and some of the,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
whole like they kind of
Yeah.
had to use
Super
some you
cool.
had to use some actual like CGI type stuff, but it's
Sure.
a good mix. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think for the time it looks good. Maybe I have the nostalgic factor because I saw this. I remember seeing this movie like on VHS, I think probably,
Oh
or either
yeah.
we rented it or HBO back in the day. HBO, that HBO that we somehow acquired.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Remember the box, you'd press the button
Yeah,
and it would change the channel. And the last 3 was like Cinemax. Hopefully it wasn't 10 p.m. because that Skinemax came on. But anyway,
yeah, yeah,
HBO and Showtime. Oh, you had to
yeah,
dial it a little bit to get a clearer picture. So yeah, I saw Death
yeah.
Becomes Her like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so she tells her that this potion is going to make her younger, that she's like, yeah, you wouldn't believe I'm 71 years old. And she tells her how much. And she like writes down the number. And Madeline's like, whatever, bye. And she's like, wait, let me give you a taste. And she's like a pusher, right? She's like a drug pusher. And
Hmm.
she pricks Madeline's hand and puts the potion on there. And we see her hand turn all young. It goes from like spotted and
Which
like,
again,
looks like
with the
it's got
special,
arthritis.
as well as I do with I guess it's called morphology technology for cinematics is really hard to do. For instance, like changing like shape changers. We could think about Michael Jackson and Thriller. I mean, this is the type of technology that she's on a very small piece. I mean, that's even harder than seeing the big picture. And anyways, I thought they did a really, really good job. And then she holds her other hand up so you could see the difference. And you're
Yeah.
going, wow. Yeah, and she's hooked, right? She is
Yeah.
hooked. I mean, this
She's
type
like,
of
will you take a
person,
check?
I need it. I need it. I always
Yeah.
wonder. I was talking to a 20-something-year-old bartender today about this movie. Never saw it. And we brought up the check. And she was like, I think my grandma paid my mom in a check for Christmas. And I was like, so you get Zelled. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
even got a check, the grandma check for $5. You know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah.
did you fucking
Yeah.
write the check, grandma? You know what I mean? I don't know.
So different times.
And
Yeah,
the whole
kids.
time, like as she's throwing this money around, like even when she goes to the like plastic surgery place at the beginning of Beverly Hills, and now you're like, let's earn this money. You know what I mean? And she
Yeah,
just
I think that because she was already she was already becoming like a washed up actress, and he was at the height of his plastic surgeries. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And they bring that up later, right? I think when they talk about the possibility of a divorce,
Yeah.
we could go into that, right? So
Yeah.
she eventually takes the potion. I like how it perks her boobs up. It like
Mhm.
inflates her booty. And she's like, I'm
Again, they did a
a
good
girl.
job with all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
instantly, and she's looking in the mirror, and she's in love with that mirror all day long. And she's a little disappointed before that though, because she doesn't see it. And I'm telling you, like this potion, within seconds, she looks amazing.
Yeah, they did a really good job of making her look older at one point and then making her look younger. And
Yeah.
even her hair, and I look at pictures of myself when I'm younger and I'm like, oh my God, my hair was so much thicker and brighter and everything. You don't realize until you look now, you're like, oh, I didn't look as bad as I thought I did, which this movie has those themes, right? About like
Mhm.
being obsessed with like our the way we looked and missing our youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it totally changes her, but then she gets the warning, like, hey, you better take care of yourself. And she puts Liesel puts a little
Very,
pin on her.
very important. Take care of your body, right? Take care.
Yeah.
This is not coming with insurance. It doesn't come with any accountability or liability, right? So, I mean, it's all on you to really take care and understand. I mean, it's forever for one thing, but how long
But she
does
doesn't
forever
tell them
last?
that.
She doesn't,
Yeah.
does she? She made
She
it
does
sound
yell out
like it.
"Siempre viva," which what does that mean? Like live? Does that
Live,
mean live forever? That's what she
yeah,
yells
I think
after,
it's in
right? Whenever people
Latin.
take the potion.
Mhm, mhm.
But
Live
yeah,
forever.
and I think that's part of the movie's ambiguity. Like you're not supposed to really know. Like, oh, well, what can happen? Like, why do you need to take care of yourself?
You take that risk.
I don't get why she didn't ask. Like, I guess she was just so in a hurry to
She
like get young
she's
that
so
she didn't say like, what are
right,
the like
right.
precautions? Like, am I a vampire? Like, what's
Yeah.
gonna happen here?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah,
gonna have to like
exactly.
feed off of people? Like, do I have to do certain things? Like, what do I
That's
need to
why
do?
I think the movie was just really trying to portray how obsessed she was and how that's all she cared about. Sell my soul, sell whatever,
Yeah,
anything that I
she threw
have.
caution to the wind.
And, she saw her hand and that was it. Yeah, no, the risk assessment was void. Where you and I were practical, right? We're like,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa, and again, we have children or whatever, or dogs or whatever, or family, whatever it is that we
yeah,
have that we care about. We're like, wait, whoa, how long does this last? And between you and I, of course, we're gonna say, do we really want to live forever? We understand mortality, right?
yeah.
So,
I mean,
well, I'm
because she
looking
tells her
forward
like
to
you
that.
have. Yeah, she tells her you can have 50 good years, but then you have to fake your own death. And she even refers to like
Yeah.
a quote. I think it's like a Greta Garbo quote. How she's like, "I just want to be alone." And like I looked it up, like that's a Greta Garbo thing. So like they're inferring that Greta Garbo took this potion, but she never says, "Well, why do I have to fake my death? What happens after 50 years?" It just sounds like, "Oh, like you can't let people catch on that you've taken it." And it's like, okay, but then what am I like? Do I assume a new identity? Like, what am I supposed to do? She doesn't ask any of these
What
questions
kind of? Yeah, it's super vague. What
that
kind
we
of
ask.
warning? Oh yeah, yeah. I need to know. But
Yeah.
it's great that she doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Then we wouldn't have this great movie. Yeah, I guess we're looking too much into it. Yeah.
Well, it's
But
kinda like honestly, it's kinda like the Ozempic injections, right? Um, they still I mean, they still take it. They see what they look like, they see what others have, and they still do it, right? I mean,
yeah,
Scott
or it's
doesn't
like
go
Botox,
over.
how we're still learning like some of the things, or some people's
Right?
like their implants, their different implants in their different body, like how it's
Yeah.
causing some people damage. I mean, some people have had great outcomes. It hasn't affected their health, but it's still
I've seen
new medical
I can't look
technology.
away. I can't look away. I mean, and this is stuff with I'm a scientist at heart, so of course I'm like the data and I see what it's doing on the outside, but what about the inside, which is also very interesting in this movie too, right?
Yeah, because
They
only
don't even
time will
have an
tell.
inside, we see.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't even have an inside. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So then we're back at the house with Ernest and Helen, and she's basically like saying like, look, we're gonna kill off Madeline. We're gonna poison her. We're gonna make it look like she's a drunk. And I like how when they like show it in her head, like the little scenes, it's
Oh,
like
it's
so
good.
fake. Like this is where the camp comes in, right? Like
Yeah.
there's tons of bottles around Madeline, and they're like, we'll put her in the car, and we'll prop her up, and we'll push her over a thing, and we're even gonna call the cops, and we're gonna tell them there's somebody swerving dangerously close to the edge. I'm like, who the hell does that? Like, you'd
I
call the
know.
cops and say,
The
swerving
reenactment is
dangerously close? Yeah, the reenactment is total cap. Wouldn't you just say, like, oh man, there's somebody driving crazy, swerving? No, they said swerving dangerously close to the edge. I'm like, that's a little much.
Yeah, yeah.
and,
We'll
and,
put
and
our pedal to
he's
the metal.
yeah, and he's like, I'll just get a divorce. He's like, I'll go on Monday. And then this is when you find out how much of a washed up drunk he is. He's like, okay, maybe I'll go Tuesday. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I'll go Tuesday at the latest. Like, dang,
yeah.
he can't even get his priorities right. And
I
she's like,
know.
you can't be divorced. She's like, Ernest, divorce in California. She's like, you're no good for poverty.
Yeah. I love that line. That's one of my favorite lines. And the
Yeah,
truth on his face is telling. It's like, oh yeah. Cause and again, that she's not like working or anything like that. She's sucking him dry.
yeah, it's crazy like how much she knows him. So yeah, so they're like, okay, that's it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna kill her. Well, those plans get foiled because Madeline comes home and she goes to her room and she tells him, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you gonna have another drink?" And that's when he just starts going in on a speech with her. He's like, "Oh, I can't take it anymore." And
Yeah.
they have this like funny banter. She's calling him blue boozy, and she's like, "You're flaccid," and it's like she's being a
Oh
bitch to
yeah,
him.
like the people you work on. I could probably get off more with your corpses than you.
They're
And
stiffer.
again,
They're stiff
they're stiffer
because
than
you're
you.
flaccid. Yeah, yeah,
It's good stuff. And then the camera's getting closer. He's getting really mad now. And you could see just how mad. And you almost know. And the thunder's crashing. And they're getting
yeah,
closer. They're on the second floor. They're very close to the staircase that is always depicted in this movie. You can't miss it, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And so they're having the argument and he kind of pushes her, right? And then she
Barely,
starts to like,
barely.
yeah, and she starts to fall
Yeah,
and then she's
teetering
like,
on the
"Help me, I'm
edge.
going to fall. I'm going to fall." And then she's like, "Hurry up." And this bitch is telling him, "Hurry up." And so then he changes his mind and he pushes her down the stairs with one finger,
Yeah,
which the finger is a reference for later. I love it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So she falls down the stairs and she's dead. Or is she, right? Poor
Mhm.
Madeline, we think she's dead. Ernest freaks
Yes.
out. He calls up Helen. He's like, we got to have a new plan. He's like, I killed her. And she's like, you what? He's like, yeah, I killed her. And he's like, oh no. And
And you
so,
see how, like, well thought out it is for Helen, right? She immediately says, "What did we talk about? What are we gonna do now? You called me. How are we gonna figure this out? Now you have to tell the cops that you called me while this happened." And guess what happens in
but
the
she
back?
fell while we were talking. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
what happens
And
in the background? Yeah.
she looks she's broken. I mean, it reminded me of Witches of Eastwick. When Felicia fell down the stairs, like her
Yeah.
leg is bent all the way to her ear. And she says, "Well, Clyde, honey, I think you broke my leg." So I think I broke my leg. And so you look in the background, it's dark, and all of a sudden, just Madeline kind of starts to move around, and she kind of is totally misshapen, right? Everything
Yeah.
kind of comes back together, and she gets
This is great. The
and
line. I
walks
already.
over. She
She
says,
picks up her shirt.
"Yeah." She says, "You pushed me."
She pushed me down the stairs.
You pushed me down the stairs.
And then he's all, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you. And then she's like, my ass. I can see
Like,
my ass because her body's
it's
been
so
turned
good.
around.
Yeah, so her head's on completely backwards. She's got swivel neck, I guess you would call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So he rushes her to the ER. And this is great. The doctor is great, right? This whole
Oh,
scene, this whole
yeah.
hospital scene.
I love the doctor. Yeah.
And
So they're
the
trying to
doctor,
figure out what's wrong. And the doctor's looking at her wrist and pushes it all the way back. He's like, "This doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt." And I mean, this wrist is all the way back and and then she finally kind of shows him her neck, and her neck's got like kind of, it definitely looks like it's been twirled around. But
yeah.
she did put it back the other way, but it doesn't really look like that. And he's
Yeah.
freaking
Doesn't
out.
look normal.
Yeah, and he tells her it literally looks like your neck is broken and your wrist is fractured in 3 places, right?
And he's like trying to hear her heartbeat and he can't
Yeah,
hear her heartbeat and he's
and
checking your
he's got the
pulse.
thermometer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I love it. He's like, so finally he's like, "Well," he sits down, he takes a drink of Ernest has his flask,
Yeah,
right? Takes
yeah,
a
the
drink,
drunk Ernest with his flask. He's like, I need some of that. He's like, sure, doc.
takes a pill, the doc takes a pill, and he's like, "Well, your heart's not beating. you're below 80 degrees? All I can think is, you're not alive. That's all I can think. So his medical terminology, he's freaking out.
And then and I like how Ernest becomes like the voice of reason. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe you should get a second opinion. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a second opinion. And he like leaves the room.
Oh, the doctor's great. The doctor's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then Ernest goes looking for him, right?
Yeah. Goes looking for the doctor. And again, with the close-ups of the faces, and opens his door, and the doctor's sitting there with all the nurses and everybody, and the doctor is flatlined.
The doctor's died of shock.
So here's Ernest, runs into the room where Madeline is supposed to be, and she's missing.
Yeah,
and the nurse is in there. He's like, "Where is she?" Oh, well, she's down in the morgue. So he goes running to the morgue, and I love it. There's this close-up of the morgue.
But I like he's on the morgue. She'll be furious. Like it's his mom. Like when your mom tells you, don't leave this room or sit right here on this bench. She'll be furious.
Goes running. Finds her in the morgue, pulls her out of the chamber. She's like, it was so dark. It was so dark. I was screaming and nobody could hear me.
And this is when we get like the classic Frankenstein moment, right? Like with the lightning through the window. And he's like, it's a miracle. You're alive.
Yes. You look great, honey.
Yeah, and wasn't it creepy like this as he's going down the hall before he finds her? There's like these nuns that are like floating.
Oh
like,
yeah, what is going
like
on
no
there?
feet, they're floating.
No,
like, that's like a weird. It has nothing to do with the movie, but it just adds to like the eeriness.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like,
and it's cool when the lightning
of the. It's kind of like an undead vibe, like right then and there. He's on his way to the morgue. So,
yeah, and
it's cool,
but the lightning. It's just like the scene from earlier, right? Where Liesel yelled, "Sempre," I can't talk all of a sudden. "Sempre viva, live forever," and she had taken her potion. It's like that same scene, and I think you even said something about that. Like as we start to find out, Ernest is gonna take her home, right? And he's gonna use all of his tricks to help her look good, right? Because she's all jacked up and she's lost her color in her face. And I really like that you mentioned that he's like Dr. Frankenstein, right?
Oh yeah.
The way
like young Frankenstein,
he's patching her up and fixing her.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, he's got the spray paint right away with the before mentioned when he's at the party about using that spray paint, and he's crafting her up. That's what totally reminded me of like Joanne's craft shop or Michael's or whatever. He's just hooking her up, and she's like loving it. She's like, good, I'm looking good. And she does look great. She does. And he's trying to find the perfect blend. And it's a whole art for him. But we forgot about somebody, didn't we?
Oh yeah, well that's when we're right on time. Helen sneaks up to the house and wearing like a leather beret or something. She has a whole caper outfit, right? Like a bandit caper outfit. I'm like, seriously, like this chick really was like, I need the perfect breaking in outfit, and like she's like rolling and like chopping over the fence.
She's got the tarp and the shovel and everything, right? She's ready to go.
Yeah. We're gonna bury her in Death Valley. Yeah. But then she's like confused because she saw Madeline in the car when they pulled up coming from the hospital, and she looks dead, right? Because she's out of it and tired.
Yeah.
And I like that she's like, "What are you doing with Madeline?" She's like, "Are you up to something funny?" And he's all, "Define funny."
Yeah.
These lines, define funny.
I know.
Bruce Willis, man.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah. So she thinks she's dead. She's saying we're gonna put her in Death Valley, but really, this whole time, Madeline's listening in. She's at the top of the stairs and she's all angry. She's even like scratching the wall, and she hears like this is when she starts to find out, like, wait a minute, they were gonna plan to kill me, and she thinks I'm dead, and she's come to help bury me. So
and the scratching on the wall. She's on the second story looking down at them, and again, it's a little stormy, it's a little thundery, and it is creepy.
Yeah. And we see an empty gun cabinet, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, Madeline basically shows up and she's like, "Hey, you brought this on yourself." And she shoots her. She shoots Helen, like, and this is where we get this infamous, if you've seen the cover, right? There's a hole. So she shoots her right into her stomach, and freaking Helen falls back into a fountain, I guess, in like their courtyard right outside of the room. So Helen fell in, and it's great because Madeline's like, "Oh, we're gonna bury her in we're gonna bury her in Death Valley." And thanks, Helen, you even provided the tarp and the shovels. And
Yes.
he's like, "What? We can't do that." And she's like, "Yeah, we have to." And she's like, "Well, if you don't help me, I'm gonna call the cops." She's like, "And I'm gonna tell them you killed me." She's like, "Nobody could play dead like me." And
Yeah.
like, it's great because then they go into this whole like they make fun of him like she tells him you can't go to prison, right? She's like, you know what they do to soft bald overweight Republicans in
Yeah.
prison? She's like, she's
And I
she's
love it. He
still
immediately
jabbing
sees
at
it.
this
I
fool.
know. And he
Yeah,
immediately
he
sees it. He's
immediately,
like, I can't go to prison.
yeah, he's
You're
like, okay,
right.
you're right. He starts like picking up tools and stuff because they
I
think,
found
okay,
myself agreeing with him. I was like, I would have grabbed that shovel too. Like, let's do it. I
yeah,
got you.
you're right.
So they're
I'm
ready,
not made
right?
for that prison life. You ain't gonna catch me in the pinta.
So they're ready,
So
right?
yeah, so it's such a reversal, right? First we
Yeah.
thought Helen and Ernest are gonna kill Madeline and bury her. And then like Madeline's like, oh, I'm just gonna steal her plan. Now that I've killed Helen, we'll just go bury her.
Yeah.
And then that's when we find out Helen
Yeah.
is not dead, right?
Yeah, Helen stands up, and I mean, this is the iconic part of the movie. She stands up. She's got I mean, it's probably a cannon-sized hole in her stomach.
In her torso,
She
yeah, in her
says,
stomach.
that was uncalled for.
Look at me, Ernest. I'm soaking wet.
She says she's wet.
And I like
And
Ernest. There's
I
something
know.
wrong with your
Yeah,
blouse.
exactly. And finally she figures it out. She says it
Yeah,
anyway.
Madeline's like, yeah, you took the thing. And Beachy Ernest is like, it's a miracle. He's going back into his spill about like how it's a miracle. And they're both basically looking at him like, shut up, Ernest, because he has
It's
no
not a
clue about the
miracle.
potion.
And that's when I believe it's Helen, right? Helen's the one
Yeah.
who says, she took the potion.
Where is
And
it?
I
And
love,
she's trying to find the pin.
yeah, that's right. And she has the pin. And it's funny because you don't really think to look before. And my first question was, dang it, I missed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and rewatches I look for she does wear it.
Yeah. It's so funny. And she's like, I love it. They go into their frenemy banter right away.
Mhm.
I always forget which one's which. Madeline is like, you better be careful. You've got a hole in your stomach. And she's kind of already making fun of her now. Like, you better not wear a two-piece for a while. Be careful going to the beach and all this.
Yeah.
I think this is like one of my favorite parts. And then she's like, I think this is when they get into a fight or something, if I
Yeah, they're
remember.
like
And they
on
have the
guard
shovel.
basically with the
Yeah.
shovels. Yeah.
Yeah. And
She
then
like
I think it's Helen. Helen hits Madeline over the head, and it becomes like this accordion head. And she grabs her head with her
hands,
fist
their
and
hair.
like open. She has to talk
Yeah.
while she's
Because they
holding her
come to
head
the
up.
conclusion, they're like, we can't kill each other. We're already dead. Like, this is
Yeah.
pointless. We
Yeah.
can't inflict pain. Like,
Yeah.
And
And they
she's
come
even
to
like,
a
oh man, I just fixed
resolution.
this.
It's great
Yeah.
to see these two like zombie girls, living dead girls, in the great words of Rob Zombie, right?
Yeah,
Come
great
to a
song.
true resolution of absolute shallowness, where they're like, what happened to us? Why do we hate each other? And Helen is like, you were with all my guys. Well, why is that? And it's so funny. And I love the way they're just so nonchalant about it. Helen moves her scarf over and then sits down on the couch in this grand gesture, and the shovel handle is going through the hole in her chest.
Yeah.
Or in her stomach.
And this is when we find out why Madeline keeps stealing all of Helen's men, right? Because she says, "Oh, I overheard you calling me cheap and that I was trashy." Like they kind of infer that like Helen came for money and Madeline didn't. That like she came from the other side of the tracks, and that she never forgot so she never forgot that she called her cheap, and so that's why she like always is stealing her men and always trying to one up her. And it's like, and the other one doesn't like her because she thinks she's trash. So like, we think the whole time that Madeline is the only aggressor, and we find out like, well, Helen was just as bad. Like this frenemy stuff is for real. Like they've never been nice to each other.
Yeah, since been when, and you're just like, and at this time you're already wondering like, oh my gosh, if they can't die, they've been with each other. Are they what's going to happen in the future? Are they always going to be like this? Because immediately after their skin starts peeling off, they want to fix themselves. They look at Ernest, right? So they're already thinking about themselves, how they can fix themselves, how they can look good again.
Because they were supposed to take care of themselves. Yeah.
They blew it. They completely blew it. And the realization isn't even there. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to look better again? And so I remember he's trying to leave at this. Like, he does help them, right?
Ernest, yeah. So Ernest is trying to leave.
They make a pact and say, hey, why don't you stay and help us, and then you can leave.
And then he's like, yeah, I will, but like, don't bother me. Don't call me. I'll fix you ladies up this one last time, and then I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, and I like how he has a picture of both of them, like with Mads and with Hell and Mads.
Yeah.
And he's just like throwing them away, and he's almost out the door. And guess what we see? They start peeling, and they're even laughing. They're like, they lick the skin and try to put
she's like trying to fix it like it's a Band-Aid. When you don't have a Band-Aid and your one Band-Aid you have is falling off, and you're like, come on, stay
just spit on it. Just spit on it.
Yeah.
It works for everything.
Yeah. And so then they're like, what are we gonna do if we need patch-ups and what are we, like, we can't, we're not gonna be able to take care of ourselves, because even though like he just patched them up, they're dead, so they're already falling apart. So that's when they try to trick them into they hatch their plan, right?
I call them the devious divas.
Devious divas. And that's where, like, we got to get him to take the potion. They're like, let's get him drunk, we'll take him to Liesel's house, and then he'll take the thing and we'll be good. So they try to
thinking too, there's a bigger picture for Ernest. Like, I started thinking that, like, I remember one of the first times I watched this, like when I really understood, I probably watched it like 4 or 5 times, over the years. I started thinking, like, man, there's a bigger picture for Ernest, because they're not the only two, right? But that will come.
I thought I have a whole thing about that when okay, we'll get into that soon. So they knock. So he doesn't take the potion because he starts to decide he's not going to drink no more. He's even splashing. Or he's not going to take the potion. Sorry, he's not gonna drink the drink that they're trying to poison him with.
Yeah, he's going to quit.
Around.
He's already has the revelation.
Yeah, he pours into the plant like he's a changed man. Like, this craziness has changed me. So they end up knocking him out. He wakes up, and now we're back at Liesel's house at the pool, where she gives the potion. Where she gives the potion to Madeline.
Harry and Dick.
Harry and Dick, I love it. She's like, Harry, Dick had to change you because you were not dressed properly for my party. Like, I love this. I wish I could nail her accent. If you're watching the movie and you listen to my accent, it's terrible. Okay, I don't even know why I'm trying to change my voice, but
she is great. She's definitely other than US, she just like super extravagant, just very
because she's Italian, right? But I don't know. It's her. She's beautiful, and you're right. She compliments him on his work. She's like, I saw what you did with Helen and Madeline, and she does the same thing, right? She gives him the taste, and he's like, whoa, and like checking out his hand, and same thing. He's kind of amazed, but as he's about to drink it, she shouts out her signature "Siempre Viva," live forever. And that's when he started. And then he does what we talked about Madeline didn't do, right?
Yeah.
He considers all the other stuff.
And he says something, he says, like, this isn't a miracle, it's a mistake. But he says it like, I overplucked my eyebrows one day. He's like, this is a mistake. Like,
we've all done that.
It's so funny. Like, it's kind of deadpanish the way he says it, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is not just a mistake. This is playing with immortality. This is playing with all the gods. I mean, there's just so many connotations there. And I love how he's just like, this is a mistake. It's just like, it's a little bit more than that. But.
And he even makes a comment. He's like, what if I like get maimed, or I get... He's all, what if I get pushed? I mean, fall down the stairs? Like, what he did to basically, he's like, wait, I jacked Madeline up by pushing her down there. What if pushing her down the stairs? What if that happens to me? And he decides, like, nope, I'm not taking it, and like grabs a potion and runs off. And she sends Dick and Harry after him. Dick and Harry,
I love Dick and
the
Harry.
Chippendales looking boys.
And Fabio, and her garb, like she wears like this beautiful jacket
jewels.
with nothing under it. Oh yeah, I love that shirt. Yeah, she's
right. Is this where she's wearing the jewels, or is
she wears that white robe with the big neck, like Frankenfurter from but it's white, like Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's got that big collar, and it's just the white like robe with nothing under it. Yeah.
Oh, so she's wearing the jewels earlier, right?
Earlier,
earlier
when she meets
Madeline. Okay.
Madeline, yeah, when she
Yeah.
meets
Okay.
Madeline.
I
I
mixed
keep
up the
forgetting that.
outfits on. There's so much
Yeah.
beautiful fashion. We could do a whole episode on just the
Oh, I
fashion in here.
know, and her makeup and her
Yeah.
hair, but
Yeah. So I
so
love that he's running. So it turns out Liesel's having like this big anniversary party for all of her clients. And as he's taking off, like he ends up in like the main like ballroom, and we get like cameos. We get Andy Warhol,
mhm, mhm,
Marilyn Monroe,
yep.
and we get Greta Garbo, and they're all
Elvis,
there. And yeah,
which
and Elvis, right? And
which
I love the way Mr. Chagall says, like, everybody now, I know a lot of you are out in public when you're not supposed to. Don't forget the rules. I know you're trying to grab some headlines. And he says, and we know who you are. And that's when we see Elvis, and he's like,
yeah.
"What? What? Like I was
I
just trying
had
to have a good
to.
time." He
I
says
had
something
to.
along those, yeah,
It's
something like
Vegas,
that. It's so
baby. It's
great.
Vegas.
Again, and as like a kid, I probably didn't. I don't think I caught like Marilyn Monroe. I didn't know those actors well enough.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I caught Elvis as a kid.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it reminded me when he's running through this big, awesome house. There's these beautiful
yeah,
doorways. There are elevators. The Dobermans are chasing him. The
yeah,
Chippendales guys are falling all over the place. The security, Harry and Dick
yeah.
can't
Tom,
seem
I
to
think
get a
are they
hold of
Tom, Dick,
Stan.
and Harry, or just Dick and Harry? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it might be Tom, Dick, and Harry, and
Are
it's
those
kind
the
of
dogs'
like.
names or the guards' names? Now I'm like confused.
I think Harry and Dick are the guards. I can't. I was waiting to hear what the Doberman's names was, but I don't think she ever says it.
Okay, so they are the
And
guards' names. Okay, not
yeah,
the dogs.
yeah.
Okay.
And I just remember like thinking, oh, this is Die Hard meets Scooby Doo. Just a weird chase scene.
Yeah. She did
Super
Die Hard
cool.
before these. Speaking of like
Yeah.
going like what a change in roles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
From going from Die Hard to
I
this.
looked that up because I wanted to know, and I knew it was before. I knew Moonlighting was before, obviously, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then I
So
believe, so he has the potion, right? And he's running.
yeah.
And I think he eventually gets cornered by the girls, right? At the very
Yeah,
top.
and he ends up at the rooftop,
The
right? Yeah.
rooftop. Yeah, and so he's trying to get away and he's already looking down, so you're already like he already you already have the feeling that he just wants to jump and he's like, forget it, I'm just gonna get this over with. So he's hanging on by his suspenders, right? Over
Yeah,
this
because he
giant.
almost falls hanging on like a statue or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cliffhanger of death, really. And
Yeah.
and they're like, take it, we need you. And he's just like, he almost has it, and he just
Yeah.
says, forget it. And he ends up falling down, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a good death for him. You're hoping for
Yeah.
it, and then where does he fall? I call it the pool of disappointment because he falls into the pool, which is where he woke up at, which I thought was kind of funny too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guess who's
That
there?
beautiful
Guess who's
stained
there?
glass.
Our favy.
Oh,
got a Jim Morrison call out right there, which I
Jim
was like,
Morrison.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know who that actor is, right? I had to look it up.
Oh, who is it?
It's Ian. I think it's Ian Astbury from the
Oh,
Cult
is it
playing
from the
him.
Colt?
I
Oh,
think it
is it?
might be him. I saw a name Ian, but I couldn't find the last name, so I
Oh,
feel
I
like
want to
it
check
could
that
be Ian
because
Astbury
so he does the
because he
tribute
does
band.
sing with
He does the Doors
yeah.
tribute band as well.
Yeah, the Doors of the 21st Century. So Ian Astbury is
Yes,
the lead
yes.
singer of the band The Cult, and he sings in that cover band. So I wonder if that's why they got him. But I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
find like all the people playing Elvis and Greta and all them. I couldn't find their names, and the only thing I could find, and it was on Reddit. So I don't know how if it was 100% accurate, but
Yeah.
people were saying that it was him. So I'm like,
And
that totally
I
makes
thought
sense.
at
He
first too,
plays
like,
Jim Morrison
yeah, that would be
in
really
present
cool if
times.
it was Ian. I've met Ian before, but anyways, I thought that was. I also my mind went to that was Pamela, but obviously they as soon as I saw him, like it doesn't do a close up until Ernest like kind of leaves the scene, and then it closes up on the girl, but she's just some hot chick.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
Yeah.
not
And he's like, "Are
Pamela.
you going to be done soon?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Are you done with the pool?" And he was like, "That was lame."
And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that was
And
a fall from the sky. What do you mean?
yeah. And what's funny
Oh.
though is like these girls would just like not push him. He would do stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
when she was like, hurry up and save me, right? And he pushed her down. Right when
Yeah.
he's about to drink the potion, they have to just become their bitchy selves and
Yeah.
like add to it. And then he's like, "No, I don't want to be with these chicks."
They
Like,
get crazy. I know.
yeah.
And I thought it was a little ironic too. He ends up taking James Dean's car when he finally gets to flee the scene, right? And
Yeah.
now, did James Dean die on Moulin Rouge right there? Because that's where the Laurel Canyon,
No.
no, it was in Death Valley or something like that.
He
Anyway,
died.
okay.
Oh gosh, I went.
It,
I remember me and Paul saw his big statue. We could probably Google that shit.
yeah, but it's in
There's
the
like a big
desert or
statue.
something.
It's in
Yeah, it
the
was.
desert. I remember we were driving from Monterey to Vegas, of all places.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was
yeah. I
like,
think you're
was
right.
it Tehachapi?
It might have been. I
Um,
can't remember.
but that is supposed to be the same. It's Cholam, California, according to where is that? I think that's either in Central. I want to say it's like in
Yeah,
what do you call it? Like where the crops and stuff are, like Central
yeah,
California,
yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah. Like
you
slowish.
know, yeah. No, I think
Mm.
a little more south of there. But anyway,
Okay. Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is that same car, so that's really cool. Like again, I wouldn't have caught that as a kid, but
yeah,
now as an
yeah,
adult, like I looked it up,
yeah,
and it's so funny though because he drives off and that's it. Like,
yeah,
and the two
yeah.
are like, they're not even upset. They're just like,
No,
well, they're more
again,
sad that they weren't going to have somebody to take care to
yeah.
catch them up. They're not
I love
actually
it.
sad that they don't even know he's lived at this moment, right? They're just
Yeah,
like, oh well, like they
they
walk off
don't.
like,
They don't even care. And neither does Lizzle, really. They're just like, oh, dang, what are we going to do now? I love the line here. This is one of my favorite lines, too. They're like, oh, you kind of see this, like, both of them kind of understand that they're going to be together.
commiserating. Yeah,
Yeah. And they're like, I'll paint your ass if you paint mine. And I just
that's the
totally,
classic line.
I love it.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna have to be together forever, and they're
Yeah.
like laughing like forever, and then they get silent, like, oh shit, we're stuck with
Yeah.
each other.
And that's
But
when I
yeah, I'll
started
paint your ass,
thinking,
paint my ass. It's great.
yeah, I don't know if you thought about like the really the eternal mess that they are going to be in, and 'cause until then you don't really have a second to think about it. Like you guys are literally going to be soulmates. Like until death
Yeah,
do us part, there is none of that, and you guys are exactly the same. And were they always destined to be like this? And
no, but that makes me think, and I think we skipped. We wanted to talk about I wonder if Liesel, because you notice when Liesel offers Ernest the potion, like there's no talk of payment. Like either the women prepaid
yeah,
for it,
mhm,
or was she like, I want this commodity too, and all my clients are gonna want this commodity
yeah,
because you
yeah,
mentioned she really complimented his work, and it was
yeah.
like
I think she
there's more
wanted
people
a
need to.
service. Yeah, I'll give you this. And he was like, why would I want to like live forever? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think there was something to it. I think that he also maybe caught on like to him. And I think that caught on to her, but I think she knew what to do by saying that. She was trying to like hype him up psychologically because he had
Yeah.
fallen from grace. Like he had went from being this prestigious plastic surgeon to like this undertaker essentially.
Yeah.
Um or a mortician rather, but they call him an undertaker, but it's more of a
Undertaker.
mortician, right?
Yeah.
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 But that maybe it kind of, I think she was playing to his confidence, right?
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
was trying to like, oh,
She
like
was
see, you
holding
could
the
go back.
chair, dangling the carrot.
Yeah, like you could be prestigious again. You could be known without coming out and saying it. And I think
Mhm.
that almost worked as well.
Yeah.
But he figured out real quick, like, nah, I don't want to
It,
end up like Madeline down the stairs or jacked up.
yeah.
And then who's gonna repair? Like he was even, I'm sure he was like, who's gonna repair me? Like, do I want to be doing? Like, do I
That's
want
what
to
he
for
said
the
too.
rest of
Yeah.
my life just be
Yeah.
taking care of people
Yeah.
and making
I
sure
think
I'm
that's when
okay?
he did have the realization where he's like, she was saying, is your soul for sale, dear? And
Ah,
he was like, no, wait a minute. Because the look on his face was almost like, I'm now aware that I'm gonna sell you my soul. And I'm not like them. I don't care about that.
I'm not that vain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then it fast forwards, right, to
yeah.
I don't know how long. Well, he was like
37 years
80
later.
something. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember
Yeah, at
he was
Ernest's
like
funeral.
80 something.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
find out he didn't die.
Mhm.
He did live after his fall.
Yeah. He led a great life of adventure. He had kids. He married. He had a
Yeah, the
he
minister's
was
giving
like,
us his whole like his whole spiel about
yeah.
Ernest's life. Yeah,
And guess who's in the back row, right? There's
two
a
shadowy
black veil.
figures, two black veiled figures. Oh
And you're
God.
already wondering, because it kind of it's meshy. You kind of can see some things, and you're already wondering, I wonder what these makeshift Barbies look like, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So and so he's kind of talking. He's adventurous. He's a great guy. He had clinics or something.
yeah. He
He
he become like this do-gooder around the world.
Yeah.
Adopted kids around the world.
Yeah, and you
Loved his
just hear them
grandkids.
laughing, like they still do not care. And I
Yeah.
remember, I think it was Mad. She's like, blah blah blah.
Oh,
Let's
that's my
get out.
favorite
They're
part.
laughing. They're
Yeah, because he
laughing.
even says like Ernest talked Ernest was known as a prankster and a storyteller. We've all heard his tall tales about the living dead in Beverly Hills. And he talks about how he knows the way to eternal life. And
which is
she's
funny.
just, and that people, and that he believes that a person can live forever because of what he's done in the world. And that's when she's like blah blah blah, and that's like my favorite thing. Like, I do that, like, when I'm in public and I don't like what's going on. Like, I won't say it loud enough to be that like rude, but like I'll be
Yeah.
saying to Paul blah blah blah. We just laugh because it's like, oh, I'm totally quoting that movie. But it's like
Yeah.
when somebody's like spouting nonsense, I'm like, this is bullshit. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so they're basically laughing because he's saying like, oh, he figured out the real way to eternal life. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, right, we have to live forever.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
I remember I
So she
wasn't sure if she started crying or she was laughing and she grabbed the tissue
Yeah,
and
Helen did.
yeah, Helen grabbed the tissue under her veil and then she's
Mm.
like, "Oh no." And then she asked Mads like, "Do you have acrylic number 9 or something
Acrylic
like that?"
number 9. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they know their exact colors. And
Like,
I
did
can't
they
remember
go to?
she's
It's
like,
not like you could go to Clinique and like get
I mean,
matched
you
for your
gotta
skin.
really know your shit if you're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm not that
exactly
good. I'm yeah, but these girls
acrylic.
have to use spray paint. Acrylic number 9. She's like, give me that acrylic number 9, and she's like, oh yeah, you're all ready. And these, I'm sorry, these bitches look awful.
They do. They're definitely a hot mess. They look like Barbie zombies.
Oh my god, Barbie zombies is perfect. Yeah, they're all runny and like
Hollow
like
mannequins.
like
Oh,
you look
peeling
like they've been
off.
scraped.
Almost like
Oh
wax, you know?
yeah.
It's crazy. And
And
what did she
she's
say?
all well, and she says, let me take a look at you. And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, you're gonna need some Bondo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these women are using Bondo on themselves.
Like it's normal. Again, like it's an everyday occurrence. This is their life now.
Yeah, yeah.
What she say? They start telling her, they start talking to each other like, "You never help me. I always lose something." And they're talking about body parts, like a finger. Or somebody
She's
loses
like,
a
I help
finger.
you when you lose your finger.
Oh,
Remember when you lost your index finger?
yeah,
And she's like, how can you lose a whole can of spray paint? And she's like, well, why do I? And Madeline's telling Helen, why do I have to carry the spray paint? And
yeah,
she's like, yeah. And so they're going down. So at this point, they're outside of the church, right? Out of
hmm
the funeral service. And they're
yeah,
going down the stairs. And
yeah.
they're
There
arguing,
goes.
talking smack to each other. And Helen, we get kind of a callback to the scene with Madeline earlier, right?
Yeah,
Where Madeline's at the top of the stairs, only it's
mhm,
Helen at the top of the stairs now.
yeah, yeah,
And her foot lands on the spray can. So the spray can it's on one of the steps, and her foot starts to help it. She's like, help me, help me. And
uh-huh,
Madeline's looking at her like, hmm.
mhm,
And so she goes like she's gonna help her, and she's almost about to push her, and instead Helen grabs her.
yep. And
And
they
these
both go
chicks,
tumbling down, right? Head over
exactly.
heels.
Yeah, and you can hear them cracking. And now, as an adult, you can see how fake it is. It just looks like
Oh
they took
yeah.
some mannequins and threw them down. But as a kid,
I mean, they kind of are at this point mannequins.
yeah, as a kid, that shit scared me. The noise,
Yeah,
the cracking was so
yeah,
good. The sound effects on it.
yeah.
Yeah, so these bitches are all broken up in pieces.
All broken up.
And
So
yeah,
torso, limbs, heads, and
yeah,
they pan into Madeline, I believe,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
She's
So Madeline's head is there, and
yep,
then Helen's head rolls over.
yeah.
She says,
Madeline
do
says,
you remember where you parked the car? Cue music and credits.
yeah, it's so great. It's so good. Best ending ever.
Yeah, and that's when you're just like, oh my, like, and you're like, as a kid, I'm like, what are they gonna do? Like, are they gonna be living heads? Like, are they gonna have to go pick each
How
other?
do
Like,
they
you
get
think
back
all these things
together?
that you don't
Because
even,
they
yeah,
don't come
like,
back together like
it's just
in
this
the movies
ambiguous
now.
ending.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And I literally thought that instead of the bitter end, it's the brittle end.
Oh, I saw that on your notes when you wrote brittle end. I was like, that's genius, Roomie. And I
Oh
guess there
man,
was like an alternate ending to this, like
really?
where they, yeah. And I meant to, Peck,
I
we're
didn't.
gonna edit this out.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Let's
was
look it
gonna
up.
look up. I meant to look it up when I was at work, like what the alternate, and it didn't do
Yeah,
well though, with like test audio. Alternate ending to death becomes her.
I did not know that.
Okay, we'll take it from here. So the alternate ending, according to the Googles, It's a scene where 37 years later, Madeline and Helen are still looking beautiful, but are now bored and watching an old couple. And it turns out it's Ernest and his wife. And they see that they're old and they're living their life. And the final shot involved a psycho style, as in the movie Psycho style shot of their skulls as the movie faded out. Okay. And people said that they didn't like it, that it just didn't make sense. I guess it was just supposed to show that like Ernest lived and had a happy ending. I tried to
Nah,
find it.
yeah.
Somebody told me you could find it on certain DVDs. I even went to the library and like rented the DVD just so I could try to get it, but it wasn't on that one. Um, but listeners, yeah, like somebody tell me the proper ending because I'm just getting that off of Google. I've never seen it. I couldn't find the like on YouTube. They had like they kept saying it was the ending, and then it was just like random stuff. It was I
Huh.
don't know, people
I
trying to
never
get
heard
ads
that.
or
Hmm.
something. But yeah, they
Yeah.
said it didn't do well with test audiences, and that it was just them seeing Ernest with his wife living a happy life, and it's just the two of them watching him, and like that was
I
it. Like I think this ending's way
absolutely,
better.
I love it. It's because it you get a lot of closure, even though it is very ambiguous. I just absolutely love the ending. It's great, and I love the line too. After
Yeah,
this after this hour and a half of pure madness, and Ernest escaping what could have happened, and it's just like wickedly ironic. I was very satisfied. You're just
yeah.
like, yes, that's what you bitches get. You guys are obsessed. And that is exactly what happens to Barbie dolls anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I
it's
this
camp too. I mean, you get this PSA for aging naturally, right? I
yeah.
mean, absolutely. It's the best I've ever seen for sure.
Yeah, there's tons of themes, right? I mean, and you could still argue these themes are still going on. Like, I mean, we talked about Ozempic and we talked about Botox and um, plastic surgery. There's so many plastic surgery. There's so many things that people try to do, spending money on creams and pills and
And
this
how
and
many
that and
people do you
serums.
think about? And I know Wayne Newton comes to mind, right? You're like, you
Yeah,
should have stopped. Now I will tell you, it's funny when I first saw this movie. You're thinking about it's a little different in the 50s, 60s, 70s, Marilyn Monroe, etc. It's a little different than when you fast forward
yeah.
to
They
now.
didn't have
Now,
access like stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And when I watched it now, all I could think about was the Kardashians. Like that.
Oh
That's our
yeah,
picture plastic, and that was a big difference seeing it now versus before. And that's a whole family we're talking. And again, this potion is kind of cosmetics. You see, Kylie Jenner and Kim. They've got all of their cosmetics, all of their perfumes, all this stuff that and they're very open. They were one of the first families, which I think is very interesting to really be open about everything, right? And now, honestly, yeah, it looks like shit sometimes, but nobody really cares anyway. And not that it's been normalized. I can't say that it's normalized because some people like Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm going to age the way that I age. I don't give a
yeah.
shit what you say. I have
I
a,
think you really. Go
I
ahead.
know,
Sorry.
there's somebody that I see quite often. And I could not stop staring at her when I first met her. She looks like a Barbie. And she's a genuinely great person. It's the only person that I've ever, seen or know personally. And I'm like, girl, and she's only 37. I'm like, girl, you could have
What?
stopped. I mean, these things are like, hey, girl. She's got the like RBF because she can't really like move around and stuff like that.
Yeah, she
Like we
can't smile
can.
or nothing.
We could do this.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, we got our crow's feet and our
Uh-huh.
crow's feet and our wrinkles on our
Yeah.
forehead. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, this is just lighting. That's all this is. It's like
Right.
natural. We're recording at a time where, at least for me, not for you. Sorry, because you're on the East Coast time. I got
Yeah.
good lighting coming in through my window that really helps me look decent. And yeah, I dye my hair and stuff, but I mean, it's so ahead of its time. I love the way it plays with like
Yeah,
there's so
and
many
it's
themes of
timeless at the same
beauty and the
part.
weight loss and the aging well. I mean, ageism. There's so many things with it that like you can still. I think this movie it ages well, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
other than yeah, like you said, the check thing might be the only thing that people don't catch.
Yeah, and
I
I
think the
think,
rest of
like,
it ages well.
there's a cycle of gothic glam just historically. You just, like, especially this movie, I mean, you just turn into, like, all right, we go through these cycles as especially movie stars, okay, you took it too far, and then, okay, stop, and now we're in the Ozempic kind of thing, and it's very interesting.
Yeah,
And I think it's way over the top, which is awesome, because if you really look at it, some people are over the top with it, right?
yeah. Is there anything else you want to make sure we talk about before we? I know you did a lot of work on this, and I didn't. Oh my god, I didn't realize I gave you that. Did I give you that many questions? I'm sorry.
Oh, that wasn't even. It was not a big deal at all. Believe me. I don't know. Maybe. I guess we could just talk real quick about how we could talk about how. I mean, just kind of what you can think of in like. I guess the keynotes here could be. We'll probably edit some of this out. How we can look back all the way back to journeys and expeditions that people put together. I mean, this is a truth for some people, the fountain of youth. I mean, look how much money, conquistadors back in the day, even conquistadors is the word, I guess.
Conquistadors, I know, huh? Come on,
Conquistadores.
girl. We have some sort of accent.
I know.
We're very Americanized Latinas, very Americanized
Yeah.
Mexican Americans, but we got some accents when we work at it.
Yeah, and same, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the eternal youth comes at a huge price. Greek mythology, which really makes me think of Alyse, taking it way too far. Even like Gladiator 2 is depicted as these two. They have two emperors, and they're just like this. They're horrible assholes, and it's a great movie. And of course, the young Frankenstein vibes, Ernest stitching bodies together, and it's like young Frankenstein goes to Sephora, the storms, the lighting, the crashing thunder. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, again, that's what makes this movie timeless, right? We can go way back to even in the future. It's great. Your vision on this was really unique. I loved it.
I mean, it wasn't me. It's just I just watched the movie and wrote down some key scenes. Well, it was really cool having you back on, Roomie. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a little longer episode than we've done in the past, but I really wanted to kind of hit some of the major scenes in here, and I had fun. Did you have fun?
Oh, it was a blast. It was a blast. I mean, this movie is so good, and I always have a blast hanging out with you. So anytime, we'll have to think of some ideas for the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listeners, we hope our dialogue wasn't too dreadful for you and you enjoyed this episode. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Dreadful Dialogue Podcast. I am also have a website, dreadfuldialogue.com. And with that, have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Thanks, Roomie.